What's up YouTube, it's Zapdos TCG here and welcome back to another TCG video on my channel. On this channel you get a lot of Pokemon TCG content, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. In this video we're going to be talking about Dusknoir and why I personally think it's one of the most influential cards from Shrouded Fable. Shrouded Fable is going to be our world set and it's going to be releasing on the 2nd of August, and we're going to be getting this Dusknoir together with Dusclops. So first of all, Dusknoir is a Pokemon that allows you to just blow itself up, and you can place 13 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and the opponent then takes a prize card. The cool thing with that mechanic is that you give up a prize card, meaning you can then activate cards like Counter Catcher, you can activate cards like Defiance Band, there's even cards like, for example, the Reversal Energy. All of these things can be taken into account when exploding a Dusknoir. You can get some crazy situations where at one point you can Roxanne the opponent when the opponent least expects it, or Iono them to a low hand size. All of that is possible, so some crazy checkmate scenarios could happen with Dusknoir. In this video we're going to be talking about a couple of deck lists where Dusknoir has its main role, and I'm going to be talking about all of these deck lists in general so you have an idea of how Dusknoir is being used. Typically it's going to be used in a lot of like rare candy based deck that's already playing 4 copies of rare candy, so you can get this off a little bit quicker. And also there is a Dusclops which does the exact same thing, but only slaps 5 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, but it also blows itself up. And in this video we're going to be taking a look at a lot of deck lists from Shrouded Fable. As mentioned, this is legal for Worlds, so the World Championships will be taking place on the 16th of August, and the set releases on the 2nd of August. So if you are in Honolulu, Hawaii, try to hit up some local card shops left and right, because you definitely want to be maybe playing some cards from Shrouded Fable, because most of them might actually see its way into some top performing decks at Worlds. But before we dive into the deck list, be sure to check out our sponsors that make the videos possible, DragonShield.com, for your sleeves, binders, and deck boxes. You can get 5% off using the coupon Zapdos5. There's your PLAYMAT to create your own unique custom playmat, PokemonStore.com for your TCG live code card needs. You can get 5% off using the coupon ZapdosTCG, and CARDMARKET.com for European players, where you're able to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. You can use the referral name ZapdosTCG to help support the channel. With that being said, let's dive into some deck lists. Like, the main thing I was saying here is that it finds its room mostly in decks that already play a high amount of rare candy. This is an example of a Charizard Pidgeot list that is playing the 1/1/1 line of Dusknoir. Why is Dusknoir in here? It's gonna allow you to hit more damage with the Charizard EX more quicker. That means that if you are like, oh, I'm not one-shotting the opponent's Pokemon because they've only taken a select amount of prize cards, you can then of course activate the Dusclops to blow itself up, or even a Dusknoir if you happen to have a wonderful hand with rare candy in there. And then out of nowhere, Charizard will dish out more damage, and you can also try and activate cards like Counter Catcher and Defiance Band. So that's super cool for sure, and that's gonna allow Charizard to basically one-shot anything in the game. In this exact 60, there's also a Legacy Energy in here to offset the effect that you do give up a prize card. Not that it's gonna be making any difference, but it does help out the prize trades left and right. So I think this is one of those decks that are gonna get some crazy combos going. I could see a world where you blow up a Dusknoir, you KO something like, for example, a Frigibax, and then you use Boss's Orders to knock out the Baxcalibur. This is a like Chimpao historic, that's like a bad matchup for Charizard, but with situations like this could flip-flop instantly. There's also a world where you say, oh, I only need 2 more prize cards. Let's go. You blow up your Dusknoir, take a KO on a weak HP Pokemon, and then Charizard finishes off for game. So Charizard will be one of the biggest decks out there trying to incorporate Dusclops and Dusknoir into the deck list, because it inherently it's plays super odd, and it also comes back with rare candy. Now you also see the Pheasantipity EX in here for some more draw power, so you do get more spaces. Instead of running B-Barrel, this one Pheasantipity can help out for some more draw power. So Charizard will definitely be trying out Dusknoir for sure. The next deck list is going to be something like a Greninja EX deck. The main role, you can see it right here, is where the Dusknoir blows itself up where you're gonna be able to one-shot something like, for example, a Manaphy, so the barrage attack of the Greninja EX can then take down 2 more Pokemon. Very cool indeed. There's also a lot of competition right here, where you can just go Dusknoir, Dusclops, you blow them all up and then try to Roxanne the opponent to a low hand ties, while you then devolve everything with the TM Devo. And the cool thing is, with the Shinobi Blade of a Greninja EX, you can get any card you want from the deck after attacking. So that's gonna be making things a lot more easy. There's also a Lost City in here. You can just throw something like Manaphy's in the Lost Zone because you blow up while Lost City is in play. Don't forget that your own Pokemon also go to the Lost Zone, but it's gonna be clear. It's gonna help out to knock out the bench shitters right there, so Greninja can go to its full potential right there. So again, deck list are playing 4 copies of Rare Candy, are playing a high amount of Arven will definitely be helpful, because not only can you buddy puff and your your little fellas on the field, like for example, you're gonna get that 50 HP, actually 60 HP Duskull up into play, and then the following turn use Rare Candy to just get some board sweep situations going. So I think this is also going to be super nice to test that out in Greninja EX deck. Following is going to be Dracapult EX again, because a lot of these decks are playing a high amount of Rare Candy. A Pidgeot line thrown in there is also not too bad, and then instead of going for the big barrel play, there's also a lot of decks out there trying to incorporate Fezandipity. Again, here this is a 2-1-2 line, so more emphasis on the Dusknoir, but sometimes the Dusclops can also activate itself. As mentioned, if you are playing Counter Catcher, you have full control on when you can activate Counter Catcher, and again, in combination with the Phantom Dive of something like the Dracapult EX. Dracapult EX in combination with Dusknoir spreads so much damage across the field that you can get like 4 prize turns quite easily, I might add. So we'll see how good Dusknoir will actually be at Worlds, but it's actually one of those decks that I personally think with bench wipe potential is gonna be pretty damn good. The following example here is gonna be a pure turbo Lost Box deck that wants to get a lot of cards in the Lost Zone ASAP. So what this deck tries to incorporate is the Hyper Aroma. What you're doing here, you're playing Carmine, you're digging through the deck, and your main purpose is clear. You blow up all your Dusclops instantly, and because Lost City will be in play, all of those Dusclops will go to the Lost Zone, so you get addition of 2 cards in the Lost Zone for every Dusclops you actually exploding. Let's say you explode 3 of them, that's 6 cards in the Lost Zone, and then with combination of vacuums in there, you're gonna be doing some crazy stuff. That's gonna be like crazy Lost Zone plays where you can Lost Mine in combination with, of course, the Dusclops spreading damage left and right, and Alakazam plays, and you can have access to Counter Catchers. Very unique deck for sure, but that's also where you can see it. If you don't know it already, stuff like Charizard EX can attack for more damage if the opponent has taken more prize cards, but something like a Blood Moon or Saluna can attack a little bit earlier if the opponent has taken a lot of prize cards. So I'm very curious to see how a deck like this will perform over at the World Championships. It's very cool to see that Dusknoir, this is not Dusknoir, but it's Dusclops, but it's doing the same thing, giving up prize cards, getting tons of cards in the Lost Zone. That's also helping out with that. Next up is gonna be decks that are playing only 2 prize Pokemon, and the only 1 prize Pokemon in the list is something like a Dusknoir. So you can give up one of those Pokemon, you don't mind, because the prize raise will not be affected in that way. There's the TM Turbo Energize, there's that Power Glass tool card that allows you to get an energy at the end of your turn, some Crushing Hammer situations, the 0-6 Sheem also in there, trying to lower the opponent's hand size. And definitely in combination with Eerie and all that, it's a very disruptive deck, and you don't mind giving up a prize card because the opponent still will need to go through 3 Iron Thorns in general, which is actually super nice for sure. So that's where I also could see the Dusknoir happening. Another example here is the Reggie Draco V Star deck. Sometimes people are playing Cleffa, but in specific scenarios where you don't need Cleffa, you don't mind giving up a 1 prize Pokemon here, and that's where the Dusclops comes into play here. It can get some crazy combos off where you can get a Phantom Dive attack off of the Dracapult EX in combination with, of course, that Dusclops to get multiple prize cards all together with some bench wiping potential. So super cool for sure that we see decks that are focused on 2 prize Pokemon incorporating a 1-1 line of Dusclops just to offset the prize trade, and also to activate Counter Catcher which I think is a very cool combo for sure. Then, moving forward, there's going to be control decks. Control decks always love to just work around with the prize cards left and right. There's a lot of cards out there. Counter Catcher, for example, there's a 3-off in this list. Defiance Band also in this list. And you just want to make sure you can get some game-breaking potentials. Let's say you have a lone Mimikyu and the only thing that can stop you is one card of the opponent's deck. You can just use the Dusknoir to get rid of that liability that the opponent has, and then out of nowhere you can wall off Pokemon. Same goes for the Cornerstone, the Ogerpon right there, the fighting type fella that's going to be immune from Pokemon with abilities. If the opponent has a Pokemon that does not have an ability, you can then take care of that quite quickly with the Dusknoir, and off you go. So control decks will also try and incorporate the Dusknoir and the Dusclops combo because they want to just make sure the opponent takes a lot of prize cards, so you can Iono them to a low hand size and then get back into the game from there on out. I think it's gonna be super nice to be seeing combos like that happening, and because of course decks that are playing Pidgeot are already playing a high amount of rare candy, I could definitely see Dusknoir doing a lot of crazy stuff right there. And then the last of the bunch is going to be a purely focused deck that on falling behind in prize cards. This is a deck actually playing the new Stadium card, and this Stadium card is gonna be super useful for non-rule box Pokemon. For example, this Luxray over here that give up 0 prize cards. So your main focus is going to be trying, if the opponent already like played their Stadium of choice, maybe you play Jamming Tower first, they overlap, and then out of nowhere you create a board state with only 0 prize Pokemon, and you can slap them into play quite easily because the Luxrays, the stage 2, you can slap down into play. If you're behind in prize cards, you can force that by blowing up a Dusclops or a Dusknoir, and off you go. In the late game, there's also a capability of going with the home, running it home with the Slowbro, taking 2 prize cards if the opponent only has 1 prize card remaining, and of course a very tanky Blood Moon Ursaluna, because you're going to be able to use that to attack with way more quicker than ever before because you blow up a couple of your Pokemon. So super unique deck list for sure of the Dusknoir. But right now I'm interested to hear your opinion about Dusknoir. Will it leave an impact? Will we see it in day 2 of the World Championships? Will we even see it in the top 16, top 8? I want to hear your opinion down below. I know it gives up a prize card, but we have a lot of cards in the format right now that benefit from giving the opponent prize cards or being behind. Not only Iono, but think about Roxanne, Reversal Energy, Counter Catcher, Defiance Band. All of those things can be activated quite easily because you can force the opponent to be behind in prize cards. So let me know your opinion about Dusknoir down below in the comment section. Will you try out any of these deck lists that I just showcased? I'm very curious to hear your opinion down below. As always, subscribe for more Pokemon TCG content here, and I will see you guys tomorrow for more Pokemon TCG madness. Thanks again for tuning in today, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks. Peace.